good. The mic is actually here. As far as I know, we're live.
But I'm pretty hard. I grew up in the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to get pretty cold for me to throw another layer.
Okay, I think it'll be alright.
But yeah, just
if you see people shivering.
Or put their layers back.
Yeah.
It's all set. It's live. I'll be able to see if anybody's watching. How are you here? Here? That's stunning. Time for everybody to know that. thought I'd give you the whole room before the bat mitzvah starts.
So you're
Testing. It's another time. Microphone. Testing the microphone. See, I don't want to have to stay. I don't want to have to stay like right on it. I want to be able to get it out this far. Testing, 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 testing the microphone. Testing, 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 testing. Joe is telling me he wants more sound. Joe is saying that he wants more sound. Testing the microphone. Testing the microphone. Yeah. Well, I'll stir it. Here we go. Okay, that's better. That's better. That's better.
Hey, do you want to look into Okay, perfect.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Welcome to you all. We are especially delighted to welcome Veda's family who have come from near and far, and her family guests. We have people who have traveled all the way from Central California, from Arizona, from Washington, D.C., and from New York. So we welcome you. We're so happy you've got a little sun this morning, and we should have a beautiful day here. We're also delighted to be gathering in this historic building. So make yourselves at home and enjoy the service. Our service is generous in length, and if you need to get up and move around, please feel free to do so. You won't be bothering us at all. I hope all of you have a copy of our lovely new Siddur. Some of you have the smaller volume, which is the Shabbat-only version, and you will use the page numbers in brackets. Please open and turn to page 288, and Veda will give us a lovely opening meditation on becoming Bat Mitzvah. You can follow along on your text or simply listen to her charming voice. See how the microphone gets you, please.
All right. May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say my prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness and their joy in suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth in receiving my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
Amen. Amen. Can you hear Veda's voice in the back all right? Give me a thumbs. Yes? It could be a little louder. All righty. Let's see when we have... Oh, please turn to page 288. Actually, you don't need to look at your page right now, but I'm going to have Karen and Brian come to the bima to present Veda with her prayer shawl.
We purchased this in Sfat on our trip to Israel a year and a half ago. So it was hard to believe when we purchased it that this day was ever going to be here.
And those of you who have not yet donned your talit, please rise and do so. And I think we have a box of them somewhere. front. Over in the corner, perhaps someone could grab the box and carry it through.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Here we go. Blessing for the Talmud. And now, page 191. Thank you, dear. And Karen has a lovely poem by Amichai to read for us. Don't worry, you don't have to follow along. You can stand by your mom and hear this lovely poem.
It's on page 191 if you do want to follow.
No, don't follow.
Oh, okay,
You're
don't
fine.
follow along. Okay. Never mind, forget that. Whoever wrapped in a tallit in one's youth will never forget taking it out of the soft sack, opening the folded tallit, spreading it, kissing the border along its length, sometimes embroidered, sometimes embossed. Afterward, a great sweep over the head like the heavens, like a chuppah, like a parachute. Afterwards, folding it around his head as if playing hide and seek, and then wrapping the body in it, tight, tight, letting it hold you like a cocoon, and opening it like wings for flying. And why are there stripes and not black and white squares like a chessboard? Because squares are finite without hope, and stripes come from infinity and go on to infinity, like the runways at an airport, so that the angels may land and take off. When you wrap yourself in a tallit, you cannot forget the coming out of a swimming pool or a sea and being wrapped in a great towel and casting it over one's head and wrapping it in tight, tight, shivering a little and laughing and blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I want to announce that Karen's dad, Jim, has the honor of being the holy handrail, helping everyone up and down off the bima. And I want everyone to please do not be shy, accept his assistance, because there is no rail here and we don't want to have any accidents on such a lovely day. Please turn to page 290. And we'll sing Ma Tovu, wonderful words of blessing, spoken by a sorcerer who was hired to curse the Israelites, but said, well, I can't promise you that I'll curse because I can only say whatever God puts in my mouth. And goes up and looks down on the Israelites and instead of cursing them, comes up with this beautiful blessing, Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov. How lovely are your tents, your dwelling places, Jacob, Israel. Can you come help me sing it? Let's all sing it through together. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. Now we'll make a round, and this half of the room will start, and then I'm going to abandon you, Veda, and go over here and bring this half of the room in. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, Yeshakah. I just had the thought that this lovely old building is not unlike the pictures we've seen of old synagogues in Eastern Europe. You know, especially that high raised ceiling, some natural light coming in through the stained glass. Of course, the women would have been up in the balcony, so we have a little difference here. But it's very charming to be in an old building doing this old tradition. Very beautiful. Please turn to page 296. And Veda will lead us in the blessing for study on the bottom of the page. In English first.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen. Yeshakah. We've given blessings to God for being able to soak ourselves in words of Torah. A lovely cross-cultural pun there in that translation. Soak ourselves in words of Torah. And a good way to join in on any blessing is just to come in on the Amen. If you haven't yet had an opportunity to learn Hebrew, Amen says, yes, we agree, we concur, this seals the deal, we are in. So we love to hear a hearty Amen. Please turn to page 298, and I'll invite Beth to join us on the bima. Welcome, my dear. We have a beautiful teaching here from the Talmud about the important elements of our tradition. Boker tov, good morning. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, right here.
These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Please turn to page 302. And Caroline, please join us on the bima for our morning songs. We'll sing Tov Lachodot on the right-hand page, 302, starting with the second line down. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. Give praise to God, and our English is not in the book, so you'll learn it now. Oh, give thanks to Adonai, and sing to the One Most High. For loving kindness in the morning, and faithfulness at night. Lovely. You know, often many of our religious conversations speak about having faith in God, and this is a term in which we hear about God having faith in us and meeting us every morning with faithfulness. to put your hands together and clap. Oh, give thanks to Adonai and sing to the wonderful God. For love is kindness in the morning and faithfulness at Tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elon, hagid baboker chazdecha, ve'emunatecha ba'elon. Please turn to page 306 for our Hallelujah. Hallelujah is the imperative that means give thanks, give praise, and Yah is one of those marvelous old names for the divine. So when we say Hallelujah, we're speaking to one another or to ourselves, saying give praise to Yah, one of those ancient names of God. And this is very easy to pick up. We're on page 306, and we start with the first line in the Hebrew, Hallelujah, 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 we repeat. Then we go down to the second to the last line in Hebrew, Kol HaNeshama Tehallel, the whole soul, every soul, or the great cosmic collective soul will give praise. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol Neshama your book on your seat, on your chair, and stand and give us a nice voice. And I'm going to ask Choir members, come to the bima. I'm recovering from laryngitis. 2 days ago, I couldn't speak at all. And my singing voice is just coming back to me. Choir members or regular TBE singers, come on up to the bima. There's some more of you. Randala, come on up to the bima. Come on to the bima. Bob, you know this. Come to the bima. I need strong voices. Joe and Francine, you know this. Come to the bima. You come to the bima. Come to the bima. Everyone who knows it. Everyone who knows it. Come to the bima to help lead our guests. Thank you. My voice is giving out. I can feel it. Here we go. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol HaShema, Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol HaShema. Everyone, you may stay on your feet and turn to page 312 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Bob, dear, I'm going to ask you to come back and lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. Say my voice. Our dear Bob Rottenberg has been Veda's teacher in singing her Torah trope, and he'll now have the honor of leading us in the Chatzi Kaddish on page 312.
Yikada v'yikada shemei Rabba ve'amad divrachi rute ve'yamlik malchute v'chayechonu ve'yomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'gahala uvizman kari v'meru amen Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach Be'olam olam be'almaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitmomad v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'meru
And on the opposite page, we have the Baruch Hu. I'll have the honor of giving you the call, and you can give me the response. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated and turn to page 314. We have a very pretty meditation on mourning that Veda will give us in English, and we can join her with the Chatima, the closing phrase in Hebrew.
The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcomed than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who reclaims the sun from darkness.
Baruch
Atah Adonai Yoser HaMorot.
Amen.
Amen.
Please stay with me, darling, because you're going to also read right here. On page 317, we'll do the same in English and then in Hebrew.
O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear, in every land and every age. Your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and the sages of Israel. And joyfully, we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth.
Baruch atah Adonai habocher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Amen. We turn the page, and Veda will lead us in Shema Yisrael. You may remain seated or stand, whichever is your custom. And our custom here is to whisper the second line, the Baruch Hashem Kavod. We whisper that, and then we'll go right on into the Be'ahavta. Yes.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושיתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשקתך ובקומך ובקשתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובגשריך. Together in English on the bottom of the page. Love Adonai your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
Emet. Yeshua. Thank you, sweet. You can sit down. Yes. Let's turn to page 322. Kal Yachana, will you join me on the beamer from Yicham Mocha, dear? Beautiful words sung by the Israelites as they went through, as the sea crossed and the Red Sea crossed in our great mythic liberation story, which we are, of course, have been celebrating all week in the holiday of Passover. Very auspicious to have a bat mitzvah on Passover, a great liberation. Don't you think? Please join us in singing. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei שיר החדש שבח גאולים לשמך שפת הים יחד כולם הודו והמלכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Uftekinu mecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael, Go aleinu, Adonai tzva'ot shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, God Israel. Amen. My dears, on the opposite page, we start our Amidah, the Tefillah. You're all invited to stand if that is your custom for Amidah, and if you're comfortable doing so, please rise. The Amidah goes through silently to... Which page does it go through to? To page 337. You might take your bat mitzvah program and put it at page 337 if you have the ambition of going through the whole prayer. I also encourage you to feel free to linger. Ours is a tradition that is, how can I say it? We have a superfluity of words. We are blessed with so many words. We have words in Hebrew, we have words in English, in Yiddish, in Ladino, in Judeo, Arabic. I left out Aramaic, I left out Mishnaic Aramaic, many words borrowed from Neo-Babylonian. We have a lot of words. And for some of us, words are the gateway. They take us where we need to go. For others, not so. So the Ami and the Amidah, it's most important that you use this as your own personal time to connect with whatever source resonates for you. The glorious God of the Bible, the ephemeral, amazing, ineffable God of the mystics, the God of nature, the God of family, the center of your own being, the core of your spirit, wherever you go deep to touch, to say, this is real, I'm really alive, this is really happening. When you have those moments of, I am really alive, this is really happening, I would say that's the purpose of the Amidah, of this prayer, which just, the Amidah means on your feet, then Tefillah means a prayer, and Tefillah is from the verb that also means to fall, as if to prostrate oneself. So if you think of any of those moments of great joy that are just like, Gewalt, those gewaltic moments. So I'll invite you to join me. We sing the opening phrase very softly, then we're going to turn the page and make the blessing in honor of the ancestors and the chain of tradition, and then everyone is invited to go along silently and just to find your own private place for prayer. There are two traditional themes in this prayer. The first is the experience of wonder, of wonderment, awe, the Grand Canyon kind of experience. And the second is the theme of deep personal gratitude. So you might want to use those two personal themes or just go on a spirit adventure for a few moments. Page 323. Traditionally, we take 3 little steps back, 3 little steps forward, and a bow to the ark. And softly, Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Turn the page. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur Hanoah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avod v'Imahot, U'Mevi Ge'ula Livnei Bneihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בשפת שרה. יהיו לרצון נמרבי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, יהיו לרצון נמרבי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Holy One. Please turn. Please turn to page 334. Just back for a moment in the Amidah. For us all to say together the blessing for peace in English on the bottom of the page. It continues up to the next page. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel and all people of the earth with peace. Baruch et Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael, v'kol yoshvei tevel b'shalom. Beautiful. Kal Yachana, will you join me on the bima? And let's all turn to 337 for Oseh Shalom B'mromav. Choir members, back on the bima. Come on, back on the Reb Shlomo's Oseh Shalom. Reb Shalom, Oseh Shalom, the beautiful Karl Bach piece, actually in a major key. Oseh Shalom, Shalom B'mromav, Yaseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom, Shalom B'mromav, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom She has a spare guitar for me. Thank you. Broke a string. Never happened before. 362. Please turn for our Torah service. And I need on the ark, please, on the bima, Dexter, and Calvin. If Calvin can come up, maybe with some help from Maya for opening our ark. Hello, gentlemen. Page 362. Ein kamocha ve'elam Adonai, ve'ein kamasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memeshotecha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai himloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz la'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech atamo v'shalom. Av harachamim hetiva v'rtzoncha et Zion. Tivne chomot Yerushalayim, Tivne chomot Yerushalayim. Ki v'cha levad batachnu, melech elam nisa adon olamim. Hold the curtain open. Hold the curtain open. There we go. Hold the curtain open so everyone can see the Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. U'devar Adonai miYerushalayim. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. Baruch Shanatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shanatan Torah Torah. La'amo Yisrael b'kdushato. And I have Josh on the bima to carry the Torah. Great. Josh will lead us in the Shema, and we will give him the reply.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. I'm trying to give a little bow here. Gadol Adonai Yitzchak Shemo Yadav. Lovely. And Josh will carry the Sefer for us. Let's see, maybe around this way and then come back this way. Does everybody get a chance to touch it? You know, when you touch it with your, look like this. And children, you go in the parade. Okay?
Ready?
You go in the parade.
Let's do it. Guys, come on.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha. And you go to prayer too. Al shlosha devarim. על שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. לה 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 Undress the Torah, please. May I have Jim and Karen on the bima, and also Cheryl. And Bob, will I have you on the bima also? I think we need 2 gabayim. Yes, dear. Lovely. Before we read from the Torah, you may be seated now. Veda will give us an introduction to this week's portion so we'll know what's going on in our story and have a sense of where we are. We're doing a special reading for the Shabbat of Passover. So we'll hear about what's in our Torah story.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion picks up while Moses is reviewing the commandments and stories before the Israelites enter the Promised Land. This happens in the book of Devarim, or more commonly known as Deuteronomy. Sorry.
Can you hear her? Okay. We're going to start over.
Oh no.
Let's see if no, start with this one. She can do the most wild feats of daring do on that huge horse. There we go. So we'll just get her comfortable. Let's try
Just right here.
from the top.
Shabbat Shalom.
Let's give Caroline a chair. Put a chair on the beamer. Could you take the chair beside you and put it on the beamer for Caroline?
My Torah portion picks up while Moses is reviewing the commandments and stories before the Israelites enter the Promised Land. This happens in the book of Devarim, or more commonly known as Deuteronomy, very close to the end of the Torah scroll. Everything in the portion is from one of Moses' speeches. Adonai didn't let Moses enter because Moses didn't follow Adonai's directions and politely asked a rock for water and instead struck it with his stick. The people complained often about the lack of variety in food and were unfaithful that God would bring them to the promised land. Because of this, Adonai deemed them unworthy of entering the promised land. The only ones allowed to enter were children, and 2 spies named Caleb and Joshua, who were the only ones who had faith that Israel could be their land. When my portion opens, the people of Israel were gathered on the eastern side of the Jordan River. And you can look in the program for your map. It's in your program. Open the program. So there are multiple theories about the different routes through Sinai to Kadesh Barnea. From there, they walked 40 years through Moab to the east side of the Jordan River. You can see that the route they took was pretty long and tedious, especially since they could have gone straight across and would have gotten to the promised land in a matter of weeks. Adonai said they could not enter until that generation of adults had died. Sorry. In these 40 years, there have been battles and encounters, rebellions, and Moses' sister Miriam and brother Aaron have died. This is a summary of the rules discussed in my portion. 1. Places of idolatry must be destroyed. 2. Worshipping must happen in one place with everyone together. 3. No eating blood. 4. No following false prophets. 5. No following heathen practices. 6. Follow sacred food rules. 7. Follow rules for tithing or taxation. 8. Follow the rules for the year of release and death. There is a very famous line that my dad will be chanting. If there is a needy person among you, you shall not harden your heart or close your hand against your needy brother. And then there are my verses about the 3 pilgrimage festivals, Passover, Shavuos, and Sukkot. I chose these verses because they're about joy. My sister Acacia's verses are about why we have been given these rules, because we are an Am Segillah, a treasured people. Because this is a speech about Moses, before we start chanting, I wanted to share a midrash, or a rabbinic legend, about Moses and his father-in-law, Jethro. Jethro told Moses how to settle the people's disputes. Before Jethro helped him, Moses had been the only one judging the Israelites. People would come from morning to evening to have Moses settle their arguments. Jethro told him to appoint more judges to help settle the people's disputes. Jethro joined them while they were wandering in the wilderness. One of the things we don't know for sure about Jethro is whether or not he continued all the way to the east side of the Jordan River with Moses and the Israelites. Most stories say he actually did go with them, but this particular midrash says he left them to go back to his home in Midian. It says that after sharing his brilliant ideas with Moses, he leaves. This is where one of my favorite quotes from him comes in. Moses said to Jethro, "Stay with me, please. I need you and I need your wonderful ideas." Jethro answered, "I am only a lamp, but you are the sun and Aaron is the moon. Where the sun and the moon give light, there is no lamp needed. I must return to my people and teach them God's ways. The lamp is best in a place of darkness." And now we'll chant from the Torah. Shabbat Shalom.
The dress is beautiful. All right, well, we chant from the Torah in a very special fashion, of course. We don't take it out just like any old book. We read from it with great ceremony, with great ritual. When people are getting to know our tradition, I explain of how we venerate words in so many ways, so that even reading becomes a holy ritual. So we will have several aliyot today, or the traditional 7. And it is such a delight to call this young lady to the bima. It's so much fun. I must tell you that having the privilege of serving the congregation for many years means that I get to call to the bima young women, or grown women now, whom I knew as little toddlers, and bat mitzvah women, and I call to the Torah young girls whom I got to name at their baby naming. So it's really quite sweet, quite sweet. It sends an exquisite set of happy chemicals to the rabbi brain when you get to do that. It's just, I can't tell you, it's heaven. I hope that you all have some of those long-term relationships with family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, where you get that great joy of seeing people move through the phases of life. Very, very exquisitely sweet for me. Ta'amod Esther, Ruth, Bach, Alexander Vasara, Lichvod HaShabbat, Lichvod HaTorah. And Acacia will be chanting for us from the book of Devarim, the first verses that Veda described for us, in which we hear beautiful lines. First, there's some lines of admonition. You are the children of Israel. This is Moses speaking God's instructions, saying that you shouldn't mar yourselves in any way. You shouldn't cut yourselves or make a bald spot, any of the between your eyes in mourning for the dead. These pagan practices of self-mutilation. No self-mutilation. Why? For you are a holy people to God, and God has chosen you for God's own self to be an Am Segula, a treasured people from among all the peoples on the face of the earth. So a very strong sense of the protector God bonding with God's people. Baruch Adonai Hamelech Le'olam Va'ed. Amen. For the second Aliyah, we're going to jump ahead to chapter 15, and we have beautiful verses which Ryan is going to chant for us. Yamdu, Alexander Mordechai Bevika, Sarah Aliyah, Ba'ava Yisrael, Kvod HaShabbat, Kvod HaTorah. And in these wonderful verses, the text goes along to say that as David told us, there are mandatory rules of what to do, how to live, and warns us that there will always be the poor among us. If there should be a poor person among you, any of your brethren of your cities and the land that God gives you, you shall not harden your heart or close your hand against your brother in need. Rather, you shall open your hands to him. You shall lend him his garment, forever is lacking to him. A very, very strong teaching of generosity. Generosity. Not letting anyone fall through the cracks.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ki Adonai Elohecha Baracha Ka'asher Diber Lach B'havata Gaim Rabim Ba'ata Lo Ha'avota Ushalato B'Gaim B'Ravim B'Racha Lo Umshalu Ki Yihei B'cha Avraham Avyon, Fa'acha, Echacha, B'charachad, Sheracha, B'ratzecha, Asher Adonai Elohecha, Natan, Lo, Hame'at, Et Levavecha, V'lo Ta'apet, Tipot, Et Yadecha, Me'acha, Ve'yon ki pecha tepatecha et yedecha lo v'havota ta'avetenu de mitzavyo matzaru asher yaso lo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet b'choyei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Our reading was a handout truths, rules for Pesach, teachings for how to observe Passover. Yam Ya'amon, Yeshua B'Rachmat Ben Mordechai B'Rivka, L'chol Shabbat L'chol HaTorah. Joshua read for us chapter 16, verses 1 to 3. As David told us, the text shifts now into a description of how to observe the pilgrimage festivals. And in these verses, we hear that you shall observe in the month of springtime and perform the Passover offerings, remembering how God took you out of Egypt, and you'll have that Passover offering from the flock, from the lamb, the traditional human lamb, and you'll celebrate this in a special place where God's name will rest. And you don't eat any leavened bread for 7 days. You eat matzah, the bread of poverty. Because when you departed from Egypt in haste, you remember that departure all the days of your life. So in this reading, we express a sense of solidarity with all of those who are in need. And our Passover customs are to remember, always to remember that others are living in poverty, others are living in imprisoned conditions, and we want to be working for their health and their virtue.
Amen. Baruch et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. V'shamor et hodesh ha'aviv ve'asita pesach le'Adonai Elohecha ki b'kodesh ha'avim hotziacha Adonai Elohecha mimitzrayim laila v'zavachta pesach le'Adonai Elohecha son uvakal kar Bamatzon asher yivchar Adonai l'shachen shemo sham lo tzotechal alan chametz shivat gamim tokel alan matzot lechem oni ki bechit hazon yatsacha ma'eretz mitzrayim Lema'an titzkor et yom setecha me'eretz Mitzrayim kol yamei chayecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen.
Our reading goes on. Adam will read for us more of the teachings for Pesach. Yam Ya'amon, Dober you have the boundary of your area for 7 days, and the Passover offering must be eaten on the appropriate day. There's no leftovers on that Passover. And very specifically, we get a teaching that the Passover offering must be prepared in one of the special cities that God has designated as a place where God's name rests. This is a beautiful metaphor in the Torah for a place of holiness, where God's name rests. And of course, these passages are written long before Jerusalem was regarded as the capital of the Jewish nation, long before there was a Jewish people. So this idea of God's name resting somewhere is very beautiful, and we can use it anywhere we go. And any place that touches our hearts, we can say, this is surely a place where God's name is resting.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim, v'natamanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen. V'lo yeva'eh l'cho sha'or, v'cho givul l'cho shi'at yamim, v'lo yalim min havasha, asher hamacha tiva ha'erev v'yom harishon laboker. Lo afiko lo tiko tisa et hapasa ve'achad she'arecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten loach ki el hamako asher ivka Adonai Elohecha l'shakein shema shom tizba'a hepasa ba'aret kavod hashimash moed tzitzita mimitzrayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Go on with teachings about Pesach and moving into Shavuos. Just like we're in Hebrews. Ta'amol Ya'el bat Shmuel v'Hila v'chaya el Zavat Yodacha v'Hochel v'Vod HaShabbat v'Vod HaTorah. And I think it should come up as supervised. Don't you think?
Asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et torato, baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Uvishalta v'achlata b'makom asher yibchar Adonai Elohecha bo upanita v'boker v'chalta le'ohalecha sheshe yamim tochal matzot uvayom hashvi atzeret l'Adonai Elohecha lo ta'aseh melacha shviya shavuot tisparlach mahalchel harmesh bakama tahel lispor shviya shavuot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata v'totenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
continue with readings about the holiday of Shavuos. Ta'amod, Or Rachmana B'chana Govesh, Livot HaShabbat, Livot HaTorah. An idea, folks. Don't hold the table this way so I can bring the microphone over. Because Lily's voice is like,
Baruch Adonai Hara Le'olam Vayed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
And Lily's verses go on through some of the Passover teachings, and then speak about the 7 weeks from the end of from the second day of Passover to the holiday of Shavuos. Very special days and special weeks. And this is the first of that week of counting the Omer, the week of loving kindness, the culmination of the week of Chesed. Amen.
V'shavut l'Adonai Elohecha Yisach midvat yadacha asher titen ka'asher yadorecha Adonai Elohecha Shemata
to give us these beautiful lines about the festival of Sukkot, in which we celebrate throughout the festival. Everyone in the community celebrates. You, your son, your daughter, your servants, your maidservants, the Levites, the newcomers, the orphans, the widows, everyone celebrates for 7 days. Excuse me, I've got a cough. I don't want to miss hearing her speak. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. What is the essence of celebration? How can you share celebration with one another? Discuss. Discuss.
You want me to get you a glass of water?
Forgive me, I had to have a vigorous cough. Share with us, what have you learned about how to share celebration with one another? Togetherness. Being together. Some secrets on how to share celebration with one another.
Helping out each other. Helping out each other.
Helping each other out. Cooking. Cooking. The cooking of celebration. Francine. Communication with one another.
Community.
Community. Beautiful. Performance. Performing. We have a beautiful dancer here. Not only does she chant from the Torah, she dances beautifully. Performing. Ways of sharing celebration. Lovely. Thank you.
Doing good.
Doing good. Doing good deeds. All right, and now on with our celebration. I get to call to the Torah. Ta'amod Abunah Alexander Sarah Lichvod HaShabbat Lichvod HaTorah Bar Mitzvah. And Beth will be reading this wonderful line that says, "You will rejoice in your festival, and you shall be completely joyful."
שלוש פעמים בשנה יראה כל סהרה את פני אדוני אלוהיך במקום אשר יבחר בחג המצות ובחג השבועות ובחג הסוכות Velo yera epne Adonai reika ish kamana yeta kavir kahat Adonai Elohim. Oh no, Adonai Elohim.
Someone pass us the clean tissue. Look this way. Oh, now the data has read from the Torah so beautifully. I'm going to call parents to come and make a lesson.
You're just so blessed to have these amazing teachers that have worked with you and you're able to discuss these things and learn these things, and really, I couldn't be prouder for how you've engaged in it and really taken it seriously and learned and asked questions and debated and really come to it all on your own. I'm very proud of you. So and I've got, this is the time I'm going to do my little reading that I was saving to do at one of our Passover Seder's, but never got around to it. It's something that I found on a website called Rabbis for Human Rights, and it's a little Passover teaching from Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch. And there's a verse in the Torah from Exodus that says, "You shall not wrong a non-Jew living among you, or oppress him, for you were Jerem in the land of Israel." And the teaching from that is the great meta principle that is often repeated in the Torah. It is not race, nor descent, nor birth, nor country of origin, nor property, nor anything external or due to chance, but simply and purely the inner spiritual and moral worth of a human being that gives him or her all the rights of a human being in a citizen. This basic principle is further protected against infringement by the additional explanation, for you were germed in the land of Egypt. Your entire misfortune in Egypt was that you were foreigners and aliens. As such, and according to the views of other nations, you had no right to be there and no claim to the property or homeland or dignified existence. It was permissible to do to you whatever they wished, and your rights were denied. This was the source of slavery and wretchedness imposed upon you. Therefore, beware, friends, the warning, from making human rights in your own state conditional on anything other than the basic humanity to which every human being bears within him or her by virtue of being a human. Any suppression of these human and civil rights opens the gates for the indiscriminate use of power and abuse of human beings.
Now that we've heard the Torah read so beautifully, Veda has a teaching, so we'll see what can we learn from this.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom. It's me again. So, the first aliyah read today was about Jews being a treasured people. The verse says, "You are a holy people to your God, and God chose you from among all the people on the face of the earth to be an Am Segilah, a treasured people." One of the many important parts of Judaism is looking at what commentators have thought about verses like these through the ages. I picked some of the teachings that grabs me the most to share with you now.
Excuse me, sir, a little louder.
Sorry. Early rabbinic commentators from around 2,000 years ago taught God's love for Israel is eternal. It is a love of rescue and protection, a love of deep mutual affection and commitment. One of my favorite songs is Dodi Li, "My beloved is mine, and I am my beloved's." To the rabbis of the Talmud, this meant the love of the people to Israel, or the people to God, and God's love to Israel. Being a treasured people doesn't mean getting special favors, but having special responsibilities, like living up to the standards of the Torah. The rabbis of the Talmud thought that the survival of the whole world and all within it depends on the truths of Torah and the loyalty of those who carry out its ethical and ritual commandments. This quote could be interpreted in a few different ways. One, you could see it as rabbis thinking that following these rules would make the world perfect. Or two, you could see it as thinking that if we are all loyal to these rules, we could improve greatly. 1,000 years ago, or 1,000 years later, Rashi, a famous Jewish commentator in France, writes, "The people of Israel are like a precious golden cup or gem along a larger collection of cups and gems belonging to a ruler. They are precious, special, but not exclusive. All people and nations belong to God. No people, including Israel, can claim that it alone is God's people." Furthermore, Rashi says that they are a treasured people if they uphold their part in the covenant. In Spain, a generation after Rashi, philosopher, poet, and doctor Yehuda Halevi writes that for him, being a part of the treasured people does not promise a life after death in pleasant and beautiful gardens, but rather a life among angels on earth. 100 years later, in Spain, Rabbi Moses ben Nachman, otherwise known as the Ramban, writes, "God's love for Israel is its love, its attention, and its loyalty. Every mitzvah performed proves that loyalty. Love promotes love. Loyal deeds engender loyal rewards." Martin Buber, a modern philosopher from Germany, writes that Israel, as a chosen people, does not indicate a feeling of superiority, but a sense of destiny. It does not spring from a comparison with others, but from the concentrated devotion to a task, to the task that molded the people into a nation. He also writes, "The prophets formulated that task and never ceased uttering their warning. If you boast of being chosen instead of living up to it, if you turn election into a static object instead of obeying it as a command, you will forfeit it. Rabbi Mordechai M. Kaplan has entirely rejected the idea of a chosen people. He writes, "No nation is chosen or elected or superior to any other, but every nation should discover its vocation or calling as a source of religious experience and as a medium of salvation to those who share its life." Kaplan has received criticism for this. Although I do like all the other commentators' ideas, I like the idea of all nations being equal. My portion was also about the 3 pilgrimage festivals, Passover, Shavuos, and Sukkot. Passover is the time for remembering when the Jews were taken out of Egypt, and we're celebrating it right now, actually. Shavuos comes 50 days after Passover. In the Torah, it is described as an agricultural holiday, but it is also the day where we celebrate being given the Torah at Mount Sinai. Sukkot is a harvest festival in the fall, and we celebrate for 7 days by decorating and sitting in a sukkah. One of the themes that stood out a lot to me in my portion was how it talked about joy. The Torah says that during Shavuos, you shall rejoice before the Eternal, your God, with your son and daughter, your male and female slave, the family of the Levite in your communities, and the stranger, the fatherless and widow in your midst. I liked this quote because of how it says that everyone shall rejoice, not just the rich or important people. The second time where this happiness is mentioned is in one of my verses, "And ye shall have nothing but joy." This quote also stands out to me because of the inclusion for everyone. The thing that brings me the most joy is horseback riding. That doesn't mean that I'm always happy when I ride, because sometimes I'm not. Sometimes it's awful. Sometimes I would rather be anywhere else than on top of a 1,200-pound animal. But when we get something right, it's the most amazing feeling. There are days where we're flying, the days where we could touch the sky. There are days when everything pays off. Days when that 1,200-pound animal and I just mount together into pure power. I live for those days. Those days are joy. Thank you all for coming. Shabbat Shalom.
Beautiful. A joy. A total joy. We're going to have the delight of passing the Sefer through the generations. I invite Ron and Marilyn on the bima, please. Brian's aunt and uncle, who are here representing his dear parents who have been unable to attend, but we hope they're attending via live stream here with our little camera, and if not watching right now, they'll get to watch the recording. And when, after we've passed the Sefer Torah to Veda, for our second procession, we'll sing the verses that she sang, V'samachta b'chagecha, you'll be entirely joyful, and they are in your program. So on the inside right-hand page of your program are the words for the song, so just be ready with V'samachta b'chagecha that we'll sing a cappella. Oh, slicha, we didn't do Hagbah. I am so sorry. Let's everyone here, stay right here. I'm dressing the Sefer. Brian, yes. Oh, nice. Lovely. And may I have Chuck and Amy and Allison on the bima to help dress the Sefer Torah. Come right up, my dears.
help us open the ark? Great leading students, rush right up here. Come right up. Bob, we're going to have this up, to up. We'll have you close the ark. Come right up, my dear. Come right up. Come right up. We'll have the ark nice and open. Any other students come open? You can represent. You can represent. See right there. You can close the ark. Close the ark. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. Bob, dear, I have a reading for you on page 381 right here. Everyone may be seated. Page 381, Bob will give Veda this lovely blessing from Talmud, some beautiful verses. You stand by Bob here.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be rich in understanding. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision clarify a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of Torah, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness, even as you ever yearn to hear the words of the Ancient One of Holiness. And I want to add, may you and that 1,200-pound vehicle of yours, metaphorically or realistically, always clear the hurdles as they come up in your path, as successfully as you cleared the hurdle today of chanting from Torah. And may you be forever young.
And the president of our congregation, Yassel, please. Joe will come up to make a presentation on behalf of the community.
It's with great privilege that I'm here today on many levels. I imagine you on your horse and thinking about Rabbi Kaplan's comment, which I've shared multiple times with the congregation. If you remember it, you'll repeat it with me. Holiness occurs when power and goodness coexist in perfect harmony. And that's how it must feel on that horse. So everybody together. Holiness occurs when power and goodness coexist in perfect harmony. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for quoting Rabbi Kaplan. It's with honor that I'm here as serving the president, as the president of the congregation, as a board member, as on behalf of the religious school, that we give you these ritual items of a Kiddush cup and candlesticks and the beautiful wrappings. Again, Rabbi Kaplan talks about this moment in your religious education, not as an end of it, as a point in time, but as a beginning for you to continue on in your Jewish teachings. And he actually was concerned about people getting to this age and stopping. So he admonishes parents to help them use these rituals to continue the Jewish tradition. So with this, we thank you, we honor you, we know the Jewish people will continue because of you. Thank you very much.
Oh, for our closing prayers, please turn to page 586 and rise for the Aleinu. The Aleinu tells us that it is upon us to give praise. It is our obligation. And especially those of us who are gathered here today, who have the freedom, the means, the good health to be here today, it's our job to hold up joy in the world,
While we acknowledge, as the Torah portion does, that so many people are still in need, we want to hold up that joy by immersing in this deep, profound sense of spiritual joy whenever we can, and share that with all. In the middle of the page in Hebrew, Aleinu l'shabech ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu kemishpachat ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kochol hamonam, v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. You turn to page 591. All together on the top of the page. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad u'shemo You may be seated and turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Special words of the divine said in honor of the departed. So if you're saying Kaddish today, observing a yard site, or if you're moved to say Kaddish on this special occasion, please rise and give me the names of those for whom you are saying Kaddish. Okay. Deborah. All words of praise, give the mourners a good amen. And I'm going to ask every member of the congregation to rise in honor of Pete Myers, a beloved longtime member, passed away a few days ago while traveling in the city, and we have not yet heard back from Pete's wife, Riva, what she has in mind, what she would like for memorial. But I feel it's important for all of us to remember him. Pete was a beloved radio personality here in Humboldt for many, many years. My son-in-law said, I grew up listening to him when I would ride to school in the morning. And people said the bus driver would put his show on. He was, and he played at Veda's bat mitzvah. At Acacia's. He was a DJ also, and he did sound for many of our simchas, including Acacia's bat mitzvah. So he will be dearly missed, a very kind, sweet soul. So we will keep you informed as to what memorial events are appropriate for the family. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba ba'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayachon v'mechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kari v'imru Yehi shmei rabba mevorach la'alam u'lamnei almaya Yitbarak, Vishtabak, Vitpa'ar, Vitramam, Vitnaseh, Vithadar, Vit'aleh, Vithalal, Shmed Kudsha, Le'ela, Minkol, Birchata, Vishirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Da'amiran, Be'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim, Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'mramah, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say,
Amen. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, my dears. I especially want to say a special Shabbat Shalom for all the children here. Children, you have been like little angels today. And I love having you here, and you have been so wonderful. And now you're going to have a lovely lunch and lots of fun all day. All day. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Yes, Karen has an announcement.
I just have a little housekeeping announcement. We're going to set up a buffet here, and well, looks like maybe we're ready for the kiddush right away.
Yes.
We'll do the kiddush first. Everyone grab a cup of wine, and then we'll do a toast and a blessing. And then if you guys want to step out and stretch your legs for 10, 15 minutes while we set up the food, then we would love to invite you to come back and eat all of the good food that we'll have spread out in 10 minutes. But first, let's drink some wine.
Right to the kiddush. Right to the kiddush. Right to the kiddush. Yes, absolutely.